The transport ship New Horizon moved through space toward the most dangerous planet in the galaxy. Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge, looking out at the dark world ahead. Korath Prime looked like a black ball covered in red storms. Lightning flashed across its surface every few seconds. "Are you sure about this, Captain?" asked Dr. Lisa Grant. She was a scientist who studied alien life forms. Her hand shook a little as she held her tablet. "The last team that went down, there lasted only 6 hours." Jake nodded. "We knew what we signed up for, Lisa. Earth needs this. If we pass the test, humans get full membership in the Galactic Council." Danny Brooks walked over to them. He was their survival expert, a man who had lived in every dangerous place on Earth. "I've read the files on this planet. Acid rain, metal-eating storms, and creatures that can bite through steel. Sounds like a normal Tuesday to me." Katie Williams laughed from her workstation. She was fixing some equipment with her tools. "Danny, you say that about everything. Remember when you called that volcano expedition relaxing?" "That was relaxing," Danny said with a grin. Ryan Clark, their medic, looked up from his medical supplies. "Well, I've got enough bandages and medicine for a small war. Hopefully we won't need them all." The ship's communication system made a loud beep. An alien voice came through the speakers. It sounded like metal scraping against stone. "Human. Vessel, this is Korath Prime Control. You are cleared to land at Test Zone 7. Good luck. You will need it." Jake pressed the reply button. "Thank you, Control. We're ready." Far above them, hundreds of alien ships waited in orbit. Inside those ships, thousands of creatures from across the galaxy watched their screens. The Galactic Council had turned this survival test into the biggest entertainment event of the year. On the Vextai command ship, the crystal beings sparkled with excitement. "Look at them," said Commander Zelkath. 5 soft mammals thinking. "They can survive where our best warriors failed. This will be over quickly." The insect-like Crothans were placing bets. "I give them 2 hours, clicked General Thexfor. "Their skin looks too thin. The acid rain will melt them." Even the peaceful Etherians, beings made of pure energy, were watching. "Perhaps we should stop this," whispered Elder Nixara. "It seems cruel to let them die for our entertainment." "They chose this path," replied the Galactic Council leader, a massive creature called High Judge Mordak. "Every species must prove they can survive the worst conditions. It is the law." Down on Korath Prime, the human team prepared for landing. The planet's atmosphere was trying to eat their ship. Green acid splashed against the windows. The metal hull made scary noises as it touched the poisonous air. "Landing in 30 seconds, Katie announced. She was flying the ship now. Her hands moved quickly over the controls. "The storm is getting worse. I can barely see the landing zone." "Just get us down in one piece," Jake said. He was putting on his protective suit. All of them wore special suits designed to protect against the planet's dangers, but the suits were heavy and hard to move in. Lisa checked her scientific equipment one more time. "My sensors are going crazy. The radiation levels here are off the charts. And something big is moving out there." "How big?" Ryan asked. He was loading extra medicine into his backpack. "Bigger than our ship," Lisa said quietly. The ship touched down with a loud crash. Red dirt and acid rain hit the windows. Through the storm, they could see the landscape of Korath Prime. Sharp rocks pointed up like teeth. Strange plants that glowed purple grew between them. In the distance, something large moved through the fog. "Welcome to paradise," Danny said. He was checking his survival tools. "At least it's not boring." Jake looked at his team. They were scared, but they were ready. "Remember the plan. We stay together, we watch each other's backs, and we survive 7 days. That's all we need to do." Above them, the alien audience was getting excited. The betting odds were changing every minute. Most aliens thought the humans would be dead within hours. "They haven't even left their ship yet," laughed a Krathan gambler. "Smart mammals. Maybe they will just stay inside until they starve." But the aliens didn't understand humans very well. While other species saw Korath Prime as a death trap, the human team was already planning. They studied the storm patterns. They watched how the native creatures moved. They looked for opportunities. The acid rain stops every 4 hours, Lisa noticed. And those glowing plants only grow near water sources. The local predators avoid the purple areas, Danny added. That tells me something about those plants. Katie was looking at the ship's sensors. There's a cave system 2 miles north, natural shelter from the storms. And I'm seeing signs of mineral deposits, Ryan said, looking at the medical scanner he had modified. Some of these rocks might be useful. Jake smiled. His team was thinking, like humans. Other species tried to survive Korath Prime. Humans were already figuring out how to live there. The ship's door opened with a hiss. Acid rain immediately started eating at the metal. The air was thick and hard to breathe, even through their filters. Strange sounds came from the fog around them. Sensors show movement, Lisa whispered into her radio. Multiple contacts. Big ones. Stay calm, Jake said. Remember, we're not just trying to survive. We're here to show the galaxy what humans can do. As they stepped onto the surface of Korath Prime, alien cameras followed their every move. Millions of viewers across the galaxy watched the 5 humans walk into what everyone believed was certain death. In the alien command ships, the betting continued. 1 hour, said a Vextai gambler. The razor spine hunters will find them within 1 hour. But some aliens were not betting, they were watching more carefully. These aliens had studied humans before. They knew that humans had survived ice ages, plagues, and wars. They knew that humans had turned every hostile environment on Earth into a home. Perhaps, whispered one old Etherian, we should be betting on how long the planet will survive the humans. The test had begun. 5 humans against the deadliest world in the galaxy. The aliens expected to watch a quick death. Instead, they were about to witness something that would change how the entire galaxy viewed humanity forever. The storm grew stronger, and in the distance, something howled. The real test was just beginning. The first hour on Korath Prime tested everything the humans thought they knew about survival. The acid rain burned through their outer gear in minutes. The air was so thick with poison that their filters worked overtime. But Jake Morrison and his team kept moving forward. Stay close to the purple plants, Danny Brooks called out through the radio. The acid rain doesn't seem to hurt them. Maybe they give off some kind of protection. Lisa Grant was already studying the strange plants with her scanner. You're right, Danny. These plants make a chemical that neutralizes the acid. We can use this. Katie Williams pulled out her tools and started collecting samples of the plant juice. If I can figure out how this works, maybe I can make our suits last longer. Above them, the alien watchers were surprised. Most test subjects spent the first hour running and screaming. The humans were taking notes and making plans. Impossible, said Commander Zelkath on the Vextai ship. They should be dead by now. The acid rain alone kills most species in 30 minutes. Look at their behavior, General Thexvor clicked nervously. They are not running. They are studying the environment like scientists. The humans moved deeper into the hostile landscape. Strange noises came from the fog around them. Something big was following them, but staying hidden. Ryan Clark kept checking his motion detector. We've got company, Ryan whispered. Multiple contacts moving in a circle around us. Razor spine hunters, Danny said calmly. He had read about these creatures in the files. They're the size of earth bears, but with spikes that can cut through metal. They hunt in packs. Jake looked around at his team. Options? We could try to outrun them, Katie suggested. Bad idea, Danny shook his head. They're faster than us in this gravity. Plus, they hunt by smell and heat. Lisa was still studying her scanner readings. Wait, look at this. Their heat vision is incredible, but their regular eyesight is terrible. They're almost blind. So? Ryan asked. So we hide our heat, Lisa said with excitement. Those thermal vents over there, the mud around them is warm. If we cover ourselves with it, we might confuse their heat sensors. Danny grinned. Now you're thinking like a survivor. The pack of razor spine hunters was getting closer. The humans could hear them moving through the rocks. Sharp claws scratched against stone. Low growls filled the air. "Move fast," Jake ordered. "Get to those mud pools." The team ran toward the thermal vents. The ground was hot under their feet. Steam rose from cracks in the rocks. The mud smelled terrible, like rotten eggs mixed with metal. "This is disgusting," Katie said as she covered herself with the warm mud. "It's also keeping us alive," Danny replied. He was spreading mud all over his suit. "Plus, look at this. The mud has minerals in it. It's making our suits stronger against the acid." Lisa was amazed by her readings. "The mud contains natural compounds that protect against both acid and radiation. This planet is trying to kill us, but it's also giving us tools to survive." The razor spine hunters appeared through the fog. They were terrifying creatures with black fur and spikes covering their backs. Their claws were as long as knives. Red eyes glowed in their skull-like faces. There were 6 of them, each one bigger than a human. But something strange happened. The creatures looked around, confused. They could smell humans, but their heat sensors couldn't find them. The warm mud was hiding the team's body heat perfectly. "Stay perfectly still," Danny whispered. "Don't even breathe loud." The lead hunter walked right past Katie. She was covered in mud and looked like just another rock. The creature sniffed the air, puzzled. It knew humans were nearby but couldn't locate them. Above in space, the alien audience was shocked into silence. No test subject had ever hidden from razor spine hunters before. Most species either ran or tried to fight. The humans had found a third option that no one had thought possible. "How did they know to do that?" whispered Elder Nixara. "They have been on this planet for only 1 hour." "Humans adapt quickly," said an old alien advisor. "Perhaps too quickly." After 20 minutes, the hunters moved away, still confused. The humans waited another 10 minutes before moving. "That was incredible," Ryan said as he cleaned mud off his equipment. "We just outsmarted the top predators on this planet." "We got lucky," Jake said, "but we also thought fast. That's what humans do best." The team continued exploring. As they walked, Katie worked on improving their gear. She mixed the plant juice with the mineral mud to create a better coating for their suits. Lisa collected samples of everything she found. Danny marked safe paths and dangerous areas. Ryan cataloged which local materials might be useful for medicine. When the next acid storm hit, they were ready. Instead of hiding in caves like other species, they built a shelter using techniques Danny had learned from camping on Earth. They used the storm itself as a resource, collecting the acid rain in containers. "Why are we collecting poison?" Ryan asked. "Because Lisa found something interesting," Jake said. "Tell him, Lisa." Lisa held up a dead crystal parasite. These creatures usually ate through any equipment they found. "The acid rain dissolves their shells instantly. What's poison to us is deadly to them. We can use it as a weapon." Katie had another idea. "The acid is also rich in minerals. If I can process it right, we might be able to use it to strengthen our tools." By the end of day 2, the human camp looked nothing like what the aliens expected. Instead of desperate survivors, they saw a working team that was learning to use everything the planet threw at them. The betting odds in the alien ships started changing. Some gamblers were getting nervous. "They have survived longer than the Krathan warriors," General Thexfor admitted. "And they seem to be getting stronger, not weaker." "This is not normal behavior," Commander Zelkath said. "Other species try to resist the planet. These humans are working with it." High Judge Mordak was beginning to worry. "Perhaps we should check on them. Make sure they are not cheating somehow." But the humans were not cheating. They were doing what humans had always done throughout history. When faced with a hostile environment, they learned from it, adapted to it, and found ways to make it work for them. On their second night, as they sat around a small fire made from burning crystal parasites, the team was actually comfortable. Their improved suits protected them from acid. Their shelter kept them dry and warm. They had food from processed local plants and clean water from filtered acid rain. "You know what's funny?" Danny said as he roasted some alien fungus over the fire. "I think I'm starting to like this place." "Don't get too comfortable," Jake warned. We still have 5 days left, and I have a feeling the worst is yet to come. He was right. Deep in the planet's core, something ancient was stirring. The shadow stalker had noticed the humans and it was hungry. The real test was about to begin. On the 3rd day, the humans woke up to silence. The constant sounds of Korath Prime had stopped. No wind, no creature calls, no bubbling from the acid pools. Even the purple plants seemed to be hiding. "This is wrong," Danny Brooks said quietly. He was checking his equipment, but his hands were shaking. "In 30 years of survival training, I've learned that when nature goes quiet, something very bad is coming." Lisa Grant was staring at her scanner with wide eyes. "The readings are impossible. There's something out there, but it's not showing up right. The scanner says it's there, then not there, then there again." Katie Williams was working on their equipment when all her electronic tools suddenly went dead. "That's not good. Something just drained all the power from my backup batteries." Ryan Clark was checking their supplies when he noticed something terrible. "Guys, we had enough food for 3 more days. Now we only have enough for 1 day. Something ate our supplies, but there are no bite marks, no signs of entry. The food is just gone." Jake Morrison looked around their camp. Everything seemed normal, but he felt like they were being watched by invisible eyes. "Pack everything. We're moving to higher ground now." As they gathered their gear, Jake made a decision that would have shocked any alien watching. "We're not running away from whatever this is. We're going to find it and stop it." "Are you crazy?" Ryan asked. "We don't even know what it is." "That's exactly why we need to find it," Jake replied. "Every creature on this planet follows rules. If we can figure out its rules, we can beat it." High above them, the alien watchers were in panic. The Shadow Stalker was the most feared predator in the galaxy. It had killed test subjects from every major species. Some aliens believed it was not even a real creature, but a force of nature. "They cannot fight the Shadow Stalker," General Thexfor said nervously. "It phases through solid matter. It cannot be seen or touched. It kills without being killed. No species has ever survived an encounter with it." Commander Zelkath agreed. "The humans should activate their emergency beacon now, before it's too late." But the humans were not thinking about escape. They were thinking like hunters. Lisa was studying every piece of data she had collected. "Look at this pattern. Every time our equipment fails, it happens in exactly the same way. The power doesn't drain slowly, it vanishes instantly. That means the creature has to become solid to absorb energy." "So it's not always invisible," Danny said thoughtfully. "It has to materialize to feed." Katie was examining the missing food more carefully. The food wasn't eaten. It was absorbed, like something drained all the nutrients out of it instantly. But this process would require the creature to make physical contact. "Which means it has to become solid," Ryan added. "At least for a few seconds." Jake was forming a plan. "If it has to materialize to feed, then it has to follow physical laws when it's solid." "Lisa, how often does it need to feed?" Lisa checked her data. "Based on our losses, I'd say every 4 to 6 hours. And it's been 5 hours since our last missing supplies. It's going to feed again soon," Danny realized. "We need to be ready." The humans spent the next hour preparing their trap. Katie used the last of their power cells to create an electromagnetic field generator. It was a simple device, but it might disrupt the creature's ability to phase in and out of normal space. Danny set up motion detectors in a circle around their camp. If something solid moved through the area, they would know exactly where it was. Lisa prepared samples of their food with tracking chemicals. If the creature tried to absorb them, they could follow the energy signature. Ryan got his medical tools ready. "If this thing bleeds, I want to know what it's made of." As the sun began to set, the air grew colder. Strange shadows moved at the edge of their vision. Something was coming. "Remember the plan?" Jake said quietly. "We wait for it to solidify. Then we hit it with everything we have." The attack came without warning. Their food supplies started disappearing piece by piece, but this time the humans were watching with their sensors. They could see exactly where the creature was feeding. "There," Lisa whispered, pointing to an empty spot where food was vanishing. 2 meters north of the fire. Katie activated her electromagnetic field. Suddenly, something shimmered into view. The shadow stalker was massive, like a cross between a spider and a snake, with skin that looked like liquid darkness. Red eyes glowed from a head that seemed to shift and change shape. The creature realized it had been trapped. It tried to phase out of normal space, but Katie's electromagnetic field was disrupting its ability. For the first time in thousands of years, the shadow stalker was stuck in physical form. "Now!" Jake shouted. Danny threw a net made from metal cables. The creature was fast, but not fast enough. The net wrapped around its shifting body. Ryan threw containers of acid rain at its eyes, causing it to scream with a sound like tearing metal. But the shadow stalker was not helpless. It lashed out with tentacles that could cut through stone. One strike knocked Katie to the ground, another nearly hit Danny. The creature was incredibly strong and very angry. "It's trying to drain power from our trap," Lisa yelled. "The electromagnetic field is weakening. Then we finish this quickly," Jake said. He grabbed a spear made from metal debris and charged at the creature. The battle was fierce. The shadow stalker fought like a demon, using claws, tentacles, and teeth that glowed with poison. But the humans fought like a team. When one of them was in danger, the others protected them. When the creature focused on one person, the others attacked from different directions. The turning point came when Ryan noticed something important. "It's bleeding from where the acid hit it. The blood is silver and glows. That's not normal blood." "It's some kind of energy creature," Lisa realized. "The acid is disrupting its energy matrix." Katie, even though she was hurt, managed to boost the power to their electromagnetic trap. "Hit it with more acid. I can keep it solid for maybe 2 more minutes." The humans threw every container of processed acid rain they had collected. The creature's screams grew louder as its dark skin began to dissolve. Silver blood poured from dozens of wounds. In a final desperate move, the shadow stalker lunged at Jake with all its remaining strength. But Jake was ready. He drove his metal spear directly through the creature's glowing heart. The shadow stalker froze, then began to fade. But instead of disappearing, it collapsed to the ground, finally dead. Silver blood pooled around its body. Above, in the alien ships, complete silence fell. For the first time in galactic history, someone had killed a shadow stalker. "Impossible," whispered High Judge Mordak. "The shadow stalker cannot be killed. It is a force of nature." "Not anymore," said an old alien advisor quietly. "The humans have changed the rules." As the humans stood around the dead creature, they were already thinking about what came next. Danny was studying the creature's remains. Lisa was collecting samples of its blood. Katie was figuring out how to use its energy-conducting properties. Ryan was treating everyone's wounds with medicine made from local plants. "Well," Jake said as he cleaned his spear, "that was interesting. What do you think we'll find tomorrow?" The alien watchers realized with growing horror that the humans were not just surviving Korath Prime. They were conquering it, one impossible challenge at a time. By the 5th day, the human camp looked nothing like a survival shelter. It looked like a small town. Jake Morrison and his team had built multiple structures using materials from the dead shadow stalker and local resources. They had clean water, steady food, and even electric power generated from the creature's energy-conducting blood. "I never thought I'd say this about a death world," Katie Williams said as she worked on expanding their power grid. "But I'm actually comfortable here." Lisa Grant was cataloging the hundreds of samples she had collected. "Look at this data. We've identified 17 different types of edible plants, found 3 separate mineral deposits, and discovered that the acid rain can be processed into fertilizer. This planet isn't trying to kill us. It's trying to teach us." Danny Brooks had tamed 2 of the smaller predators. The creatures that once hunted other test subjects now followed him around like pets. "These little guys are actually pretty smart. They can detect incoming storms hours before our equipment can." Ryan Clark was setting up what looked like a medical laboratory. "The shadow stalker's blood has incredible healing properties. I've created medicines that work better than anything we brought from Earth. Plus, the local fungi have natural antibiotic compounds. Above them in space, the alien watchers were no longer betting on human survival. They were holding emergency meetings. Day 5, General Thexvor said nervously. The test was supposed to last 7 days maximum. Most species are rescued after 1 day. The humans show no signs of wanting to leave. They are not just surviving, Commander Zelkath observed. They are building a permanent settlement. Look at their construction. They plan to stay. High Judge Mordak was studying reports with growing alarm. According to our sensors, the humans have established sustainable food production, reliable shelter, steady power, and effective defense systems. They have turned a death world into a livable habitat in less than a week. On the planet's surface, the humans were making discoveries that would change everything. Jake had sent Danny and Katie to explore the northern regions while he, Lisa, and Ryan investigated some unusual energy readings to the south. "Captain, you need to see this," Lisa called excitedly. She was standing at the edge of a massive canyon. At the bottom, strange crystals glowed with inner light. These crystals contain more energy than our best fusion reactors. There are enough here to power a city for 1,000 years. And look at this, Ryan added, pointing to his scanner. The canyon walls are full of rare metals. Some of these elements don't even exist on Earth. They're worth more than the entire gross domestic product of most planets. Jake stared down at the canyon. We're not just on a survival test anymore. We're sitting on the richest mineral deposit in the galaxy. Meanwhile, Danny and Katie were making their own incredible discovery. They had found a series of underground caves that connected across the entire continent. The caves were naturally climate-controlled and protected from storms. "Jake, come look at this," Katie's voice crackled over the radio. "These caves could house millions of people, and the walls are covered with natural crystals that provide light and heat. It's like the planet was designed for colonization." "Plus," Danny added, "the native predators don't go into the caves. Something about the crystal frequency keeps them away. These would be perfect for human settlements." In the alien command ships, panic was setting in. What started as a simple survival test was becoming something much more dangerous. "They are claiming territory," Elder Nixara said with worry. "Every species that has taken this test tried to survive long enough to be rescued. The humans are acting like they own the planet. Because they do," said an old alien advisor quietly. "By galactic law, any species that can establish a permanent settlement on Korath Prime has the right to claim it. The humans are not just passing the test. They are claiming the planet." High Judge Mordak stood up suddenly. "End the test immediately. Get them off that planet." "Sir," said a technician, "they have not activated their emergency beacon. By law, we cannot end the test until they request rescue or until the 7 days are completed." "Then contact them directly," the High Judge ordered. Back on the planet, Jake received the alien transmission. "Human team, this is Galactic Council Control. Your performance has been adequate. You may activate your emergency beacon for immediate rescue." Jake looked at his team. They were dirty, tired, but happier than they had ever been. "What do you think, people? Ready to go home?" "Are you kidding?" Katie laughed. "I just figured out how to build hover vehicles using local materials. I'm not leaving now." "The research opportunities here are incredible," Lisa said. "I've discovered more new species in 5 days than most scientists find in a lifetime. The hunting is great, the weather is interesting, and the neighbors are quiet." Danny grinned. "This place is perfect." "Plus," Ryan added, "I'm pretty sure these crystals can cure diseases that we've never been able to treat before. We could help billions of people." Jake pressed the communication button. "Galactic Council Control, thank you for the offer, but we decline rescue. We're staying." The silence that followed lasted for several minutes. Then High Judge Mordak's voice came through and he sounded scared. "Humans, you do not understand. Korath Prime is not meant for permanent settlement. It is a test world only." "Not anymore," Jake replied. "By galactic law, any species that establishes a viable colony has the right to claim uninhabited worlds. We're claiming Korath Prime as the first human colony outside our home system. In the alien ships above, The implications hit everyone, at once. Korath Prime was not just valuable for its survival test. It was located at the center of major shipping routes. It contained mineral wealth beyond imagination. Most importantly, it was proof that humans could colonize worlds that other species considered impossible to inhabit. If humans can live on Korath Prime, whispered Commander Zelkath, they can live anywhere. Every death world in the galaxy could become a human colony. They will spread across every hostile environment. General Thexfor realized with growing horror. Planets we avoid because they are too dangerous will become human homes. Elder Nixara spoke the words that everyone was thinking. We have not been watching a survival test. We have been watching the beginning of human expansion across the galaxy. On day 7, when the test officially ended, the humans still showed no intention of leaving. More concerning for the aliens, Earth had already sent 3 colony ships toward Korath Prime. Word of the successful settlement had spread across human space, and thousands of volunteers were preparing to join the new colony. The Galactic Council faced a terrible choice. They could try to force the humans to leave, but that would mean war with a species that had just proven they could thrive in conditions that killed everyone else. Or they could accept that the balance of galactic power had just shifted forever. Jake Morrison stood on a hill overlooking their thriving settlement. He smiled. Earth had sent them to pass a survival test. Instead, they had started a human empire. The galaxy would never be the same again. Below him, his team was already planning expansions to their colony. Above him, alien ships were quietly leaving orbit, carrying news that would terrify civilizations across the stars. Humanity had passed their test, but in doing so, they had become something the galaxy had never seen before. They had become unstoppable.